Look closely at this transition. The face on the left is the king of pop in his prime. The face on the right is his nephew, Jaafar Jackson, stepping into the role for a brand new blockbuster. Before we examine how a studio pulled off this uncanny recreation, hit subscribe to The Explainer for more deep dives into the business of Hollywood. The new biopic, simply titled Michael, generated 116 million trailer views in a single day. Heading into its opening weekend, it is projected to pull in a massive $150 million globally. But this chart shows a massive disconnect. Alongside a soaring $150 million box office projection, critical reception crashes to 34%. Reviewers complain audiences are getting a 2-hour playlist that entirely sidesteps the singer's most serious controversies. Lionsgate utilized its massive $200 million budget to systematically engineer public amnesia, trading an authentic biography for a carefully curated version of the star's history. The filmmakers knew the script had historical gaps. To keep audiences from noticing, they deployed a highly calculated technical diversion using premium theatrical formats. During the stadium concert sequences, the production shot with 65mm IMAX film cameras. This expands the aspect ratio to capture 26% more picture, filling your entire peripheral vision with the massive scale of a live concert. Then, they paired those massive visuals with Dolby Atmos spatial audio and D-Box haptic seating to create what the studio calls a physical soundtrack. In these theaters, the seats don't just rumble randomly. The vibration actuators were hand-coded to match specific bass lines, meaning you physically feel the rhythm of songs like Billie Jean vibrating through the chair. When the bass is shaking your spine and the visuals are stretching past your eyeline, your brain is overwhelmed. This sensory overload acts as a deliberate sleight of hand, forcing you to feel the music rather than think about the history missing from the screen. That missing history is exactly where the real story of this production lies. We have to look at what was deliberately gutted from the script behind closed doors. Early drafts reportedly dealt directly with the 1993 child abuse allegations. However, the legal settlement contained a strict clause preventing any film from depicting or even mentioning him. Because of this, the studio executed emergency reshoots. They spent an estimated $15 million to completely excise the 1993 timeline from the third act. The entire production was tightly supervised by the Jackson estate, led by executor John Branca. Their primary objective was protecting the estate's highly lucrative financial assets and public image. While the estate rubber-stamped the final cut, Michael's own daughter, Paris Jackson, publicly condemned the project. She criticized the casting choices and called the resulting narrative entirely sugar-coated. Between the legal constraints and the estate meddling, the production lost its humanity, transforming a biography into a heavily censored PR exercise. This explains the movie's abrupt ending. The narrative cuts off right after the 1984 Victory Tour, long before the star's most difficult years. Ending in 1984 is a highly strategic choice. It allows the filmmakers to entirely bypass the controversies and legal battles that dominated the 1990s. But there's a catch. Before the credits finish rolling, a title card appears on screen, promising that his story will continue. This functions as the first calculated installment of a multi-part cinematic universe, a corporate strategy designed to perpetually monetize the icon. The financial success of Michael establishes a new precedent for how Hollywood will handle complex historical figures moving forward. The industry now has a proven blueprint. If a studio makes the music loud enough and the visual spectacle stunning enough, they can effectively overwrite historical reality. This forces us to question the actual purpose of modern biographical films, especially when the subject's estate holds total veto power over the truth. As this film dominates the global box office, the audience is left with a choice. Are we going to the theater to uncover the truth about our cultural icons, or are we just paying for a $150 million cover band?